mute. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning, that family. Welcome to our Friday session. Welcome to our Think Ownership series. My name is Mbalo Mavundla. I'm happy to be with you here, guys, today. If you are tuned in, let us know what's been happening in your world. We want to know what's been happening in your world of entrepreneurship. If you're an entrepreneur, small business owner, hit us up. We want to know what's happening. Want to know what's good in your world. Just to let you know, today we have Usilindile Lisinyane, who's part of a property Stokvel. But before I dive deep and introduce her to you guys, I think this week has just been such an eventful week. On the Daily Maverick yesterday, it was on headlines that unemployment in South Africa has hit an all-time high, which is just a bit over 30%. We're moving from 23% just before lockdown, 23 point something percent, saying, to over 31%, just about there. And, it's scary for job seekers, but it's even scarier for entrepreneurs because we are like, where are we going to get the business from? If other businesses are closing down, who's going to come and buy our services? But anyways, if you have any suggestions, let's link up, come through with us. Hi, Slindila, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Bali. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Thanks. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. This is the Think Ownership series where we encourage entrepreneurs to use collective courage to venture out as small businesses. We're going to talk a bit about what Usilindile does, but we've also done a bit of work as a community. With our own entrepreneurs, we've gathered 200 people, split them into two groups, and we've started a Stokvel. We are standing at over 2 million now. It's 20 weeks later. We're going for week 21. Yay! So if you guys can raise like $1 million in 3 months and 2 million in 6 months, I think you guys, it's pretty clear that the power and, of the community is just something that we doubted from the beginning, but that we shouldn't. So we are talking community capital. We're talking group economics. We are talking cooperative economics. So today we're catching up with property investor, Stokvel coach and mentor Usilindile Lisinyane, who's going to share her Stokvel journey, who's been investing in property. Usilindile, she is the co-founder and chairperson of Sakisizwe Property and managing director of Sizonota Investments, a property investment solutions company. So a bit about Sakisizwe. It's a property Stokvel that was started last year in July with the goal of getting more South Africans to invest in property in a convenient, easy, and hassle-free way. Now, in 16 months, a little over a year, the Stokvel has raised just over 6 million and has about 240 members. And Slindile, correct me if I'm wrong, you focus on office spaces, student accommodations, single-family dwellings, retail properties, correct?
Okay, so not so much on the retail side. Mostly on the it's mostly residential. We've done one which was a mixed use that had offices and residential, but primarily in the residential space. Not so much as well, yes, and not so much as well on single family residences, because single family residences carry a higher risk because you've only got one tenant. So if the tenant doesn't pay, then there's no income at all. So the preference is for properties that have got multiple tenants. So like you're saying, accommodation, or like what they call multi-lets or ama room, those kinds of properties where you've got more than one tenant. And so one or two tenants not paying doesn't, cause a catastrophe. So so that's the criteria that we go for.
Awesome. And you guys are visible in Joburg, Durban, and is this Western Cape? And the Western Cape.
Yes. So in terms of where we invest, but our members are from all over South Africa, even in fact, stuff in the SADC region. And then recently as well, we've also had a lot of international interest from South Africans who are living overseas, who understand the Stokvel thing, and they've got dollars or pounds or whatever that they wanna start doing something back home with. So now we're starting to have quite a bit of interest from the international South Africans that are working overseas. So yes, so you can invest from anywhere really, as long as you can access the Stokvel platform.
Awesome. Now let's get to know you. You know, it's a Friday. We're a bit chilled. We want to really know who we are talking to. And I love it when I have women on screen because for me it just validates my dreams. Yazini girl, whatever it is that you want, the women that you have
You
here in
can
front
do
of you
it.
can help guide you.
Yeah, no,
um,
definitely.
so,
Definitely. We're
so
definitely taking up spaces now.
Yes, and we just know what you've got. Some of us who are younger than you who are looking up and saying, as in, we want to get there, Nati. And it's amazing. You guys are doing amazing work. Now, about you specifically, you know, you're a mother,
Mm-hmm.
you're an entrepreneur, you're a community builder, you're an investor. Girl, I could give you all the superpowers, but tell us in 5 parts about the things that make up Uslindil.
Yeah, it's that and then some, hey. So I am a wife, I am a mom, I am a property investor by myself as well as, in the Stokvels community as well.
Yes,
And then, so I am a coach as well. So I coach individuals as well as Stokvels groups on how to invest in property. And
yes,
then I'm also like, a person who cares about, financial well-being of people, just really saying, how can we make better decisions? And it's not
yeah,
just saying, okay, guys, become a member of our Stokvel and it ends there, So even
yeah.
before lockdown, when we would have like info sessions or whatever, we always would make it a point to say, who can we bring on board to come and just educate members about something, whether we've had people, for example, from one of the banks come in and just educate people about how to access funding, how to prepare
Yeah.
for getting a home loan, what does it take? And we've had like attorneys from a conveyancing perspective, just so that they understand what's involved in purchasing a property. We've had
Mm,
various speakers, even the information that we share on our Facebook and on our mailers, on our mailing list, it's just, making sure that we empower our
yeah.
members to walk away having whether you stay a member or you leave at some point, you walk away having gained something, having learned something. And for me, that's one of the big things of wanting to make a difference, to say this is what we have achieved, not just saying the 6 million rand is all good and well, but what did you also achieve over and
Mm,
above
mm,
that as an
mm,
individual that contributed to your own growth?
mm. And, you know, I said this in passing, saying that you've got superpowers, but now I'm intentional about asking, how do you do it?
Um, I think it's passion for what I do. When you're passionate,
Yeah,
you can sleep at 1 o'clock and wake up at 4 and
that's
continue and
true.
pick right up from where
That's
you pick up. When you hate what you're doing, then it's stressful. When you like it, it's called passion. When you hate it, it's stress.
true. True. That is very true. You know, passion will wake you up before your alarm clock, eh?
Yeah. So, and then also just having a very good support system. I think I've got an
Yeah.
amazing support system through my husband and my family, and even the team that I work with. We work amazingly well together. We all know what we need to do. We pull together. We lift each other up.
Yes.
And so I think just having that support system is really important. Like they say that the entrepreneurship journey is a lonely one, but I mean, when you can find people that are aligned in terms of your goals and your vision, it just makes
Mm,
that more
mm,
worthwhile
mm.
because you've got someone to offload. And I also think that another thing that has helped me is when I'm looking at my workload, I always look at, how can I streamline this? How can I automate this so that I do the
Yes.
work once and I don't have to
The
do it
automation
again?
process.
So the automation bit. So I'm a big fan of using technology and automation. I work in IT, so I get it.
Mm.
By the way, I've also got a full-time job, which I forgot to mention.
It never stops.
Yeah, I work, you know. So because I work in IT, so I get the whole automation thing. You do the work once, and then you basically
Yes.
then leverage that forever. So it might take you a couple of hours or a couple of days to put something in place that now works forever. For example, with Sakisi's, where we created a landing page that we did like when we started, and I think it took a couple of YouTube videos of watching how does landing pages work, and we set the thing up. And I promise you, almost 60% of the people that have come to Sakisizwe came off that landing page. That thing that we just sat down for like a couple of hours and learned to do.
And
And now
put
when
it
someone says, how do I
together.
do it? We just send them to the landing page and you get the information, you get the videos, you get the downloads, and Bob's your uncle, and you're good to go. So we don't have to be sitting on the phone speaking to everybody. Hey, how does it work? Explaining for 30
Yes.
minutes. We did
Yes.
that. We did it when we launched, and then you were like, this is not gonna work. How can we
Yeah.
make this less admin intensive? So we thought automation is going to be key. We built our website. The website is there. If you don't want to go on the landing page, then go onto the website. We always find a way to direct you to get the information somewhere. So
Yeah.
that works. So essentially, those our digital assets that we built when we started to say we've got a website, we've got a landing page. Use this so that you're not spending,
Sure.
you're not you know what I'm saying? So using a platform like Stokvela as well, the people understand that we show them the instructions of how to sign up, how to make
Mm-hmm.
payments, and Stokvela does the rest. So you sign up, you get the email that says pay this, they pay, and that's it. So that's why it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it's a lot of work because we've done the painful bits in the beginning. And then the second thing that I think helps as well is delegating. I think as people, we tend to
Mm-hmm.
believe that we are the only ones who can do it and who can do it perfectly. And if you're going to be
Yeah.
like that, you are very soon going to find yourself in a mental institution due to being burnt out and all of those things. Learn to delegate. Understand that people are going to make mistakes and be okay with them
True.
learning so that the next time they
True.
won't repeat the same mistake. They'll make a
Mm.
different one and then they'll make a different one. Then the fourth time around, they've got it going. So I think being able to delegate is key, and getting that help. So when we started, it was just the three of us who were the Stokvel executives, but we saw that the work was intensifying. So we got like an admin assistant. She's a matriculant, she's like fresh out of school. So she's the
Nice.
one who's helping with some of the more admin stuff that, we need to do. And she's now being exposed to so many skills that she's going to be able to use in the future as well. So it's just
Mm.
about, seeing what can you do once so that you don't have to do it all the time,
Yes.
and
To
where can
repeat
you
the
delegate, and
process.
so that it lessens the amount of work you have to do, correct, and having the right
Mm.
support structure in place.
Yeah, and this speaks mostly to small businesses who, short-handed when it comes to resources. As we start a business and we have to do everything ourselves. Now, the whole automation process makes things a bit more smooth, and that's why these tools are here, anyways. You know what I'm saying? We are fortunate to
100%.
have found them, some of them, and use them during lockdown to help with but they've been there. So it's just, do a bit of research on our side with, there are
How can
shortcuts,
I, yeah, yeah.
how can I make
And
my
any
work easy?
Mbali, mm. And any Mbali is that we you can also, for example, you always have, especially if you're like in a business space or whatever, you always have young people who are saying, Mali, I want to work with you, or how can you mentor me? Bring them on board. They are
Mhm.
eager to please. you
Yes.
know, come and say, okay,
You,
come, I'm having come and help me man my stall or whatever, help me, whatever,
mm,
pack, whatever. Then they get access to you. Then they get access to you, and that way you are now actually upskilling them and freeing up some of the. You don't
yeah,
have to do
yeah,
everything. You have to focus on the
everything
strategic
yourself.
elements of your business.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can pay them a small stipend, whatever. But the exposure that they will get, they will appreciate. So look
Yes,
at,
it's the
even in your own
important stuff.
family. Who can you bring up? you know, Instead of giving them
Mm.
handouts, you say, come and work in my shop, come and help in my business. And then
Yes.
now they're getting skills and.
Mm. I totally agree with you. This week, I shared a video where Tyler Perry was like, the best thing he's ever done was to invest in the underdogs, the guys who are often overlooked. Because if anybody understands your vision, or if anybody understands exactly what it is that you have to offer, it's the guy who's never had the chance. And the amount of gratitude that they give you at the end of the day is unspeakable, because they know what it means to them. So when you speak about delegation and you speak about finding the right team, oh, here's a team member.
Just wake up.
Hello, team member. You see what I mean? Listen, don't worry about it. This team member can stand here as long as this team member can also be dropping some bars about investing in property.
Listen,
You
if we could
understand when they
talk, we would
say in the
probably tell you
beginning
a
that
couple
you
of
are
stories.
mom, you are all these things. right.
Yeah.
So there's a comment here by Arasol Sex. Is like, I love this movement. I definitely would love to join in. So I'm not sure if he's talking about your Stokvel or if you are talking. I'm not sure if you're talking about Slindile's property Stokvel or about joining our community as that. Arasol, please just be clear there. And then Mike is saying he would like to be mentored. So you see, there are people out there. So guys, when you do see small businesses running who are a bit short-handed, and as long as you understand what skill that you can go out there and give, if you understand that, you can approach anyone because people are open.
Yeah.
All right.
And,
So
and
you
you know,
are.
like one of the ladies that I work with in our Stokvel, before I got involved with Sakisizo, I had a different Stokvel, right? So she saw me posting on Facebook and all those things, and she was like, "Cindy, please can you mentor me? Because I'd also like to start my own
Yes.
Stokvel, you know." And then I said
Yes.
to her, "Okay, fine, no problem. If you wanna do that, go and get your property education because you can't be responsible for people's money and you don't understand property yourself. It's not just about the money; it's about making sure that you're getting into profitable investments." So she did that and she did the course and then she came back to me and she's like, I did the course that you recommended, blah, blah, blah. So when I was
Oh,
setting up Sakisizo, I was like, you know what? Come and work with me so that you get
yes.
first-hand experience of what it takes to run a Stokvel, you know? And we still work together even now. She's one of the executives on my Stokvel. Hence, I'm not just
We
saying
love
these
to see
things
it.
out of the air. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Find the people that want to do, and if you see which the person is serious, bring them in because they're passionate about it and they want to learn and they want to get access to you as well. And which better way to do so, you know?
Yeah. I love that. So you guys founded Isaki Caesar Property Stokvel last year, and
Yeah.
you recently passed your year mark, which was a couple of months ago. Last
Yeah.
year July was a whole lot different than this year July. I
Ooh,
mean, I think
a
40
lot can
in
happen in a
July
year.
we were full on. Were we full on lockdown? We were on level 5.
No, lockdown started in March. I won level 5. We didn't even know that there were such things, you know. The only
um,
corona we knew was that drink.
Never again. And actually, Corona the virus affected Corona the beer sales. And we understand, it's bad. I just want to know: have you guys recovered from, the lockdown issue that happened, or were you really not that significantly impacted by the lockdown? I know people were not moving; some were not even allowed.
Yeah, for me, the lockdown blew us up. Like we blew up during
For real?
lockdown.
Okay.
Like I'm telling you, like I think because people were at home and they were bored and they had nothing to do, so we were
Mm,
doing webinars and now like I'm saying all these things are online. So people would be going and viewing and then they
yes.
would sign up. I think we had like a record amount of contributions during the lockdown because prior to lockdown, we were raising about 200 and something, 300 and something thousand a month. Like March, April, May, we were raising northwards of 600,000 rand in a month, literally doubled how much we were raising in a set during lockdown, which I thought people are like, no, they're not going to be able to, they're worried about their jobs, whatever. But actually, that's when we did better than we've ever done before. So which just goes to show, sometimes you've got these assumptions or preconceptions about what you think about things, and then
Mm.
it just goes the opposite way. Even in January this year, we were like, it's January. People are not going to contribute in January. January was also like the highest amount of contributions we had in a month prior to the ones from lockdown. So really, people will surprise you. So we didn't suffer anything at all. If anything, I think we did really well because myself as well, I also got invited into a lot of these webinars because people are just webinaring to death because of lockdown. So I think that also helped as well to just put the word out there.
Android. You know what? I've been having a couple of conversations with a couple of people in my circles, and I say to them, "Stop saying people don't have money. Say you don't have money."
Oh, banks are printing money every day, Mbali. They're printing money. You just have to go and find a compelling reason for a person to part with their money
Yes,
and give it to you.
yes,
There's an
and give it to you
abundance of
and trust
money.
you.
There's an
Yes,
abundance of money.
and as
You cannot
entrepreneurs, we
just
can't
have
be
that
thinking like
idea.
that, eh? Or else we'll never get
No, there's
money. Just
abundance. There's an abundance of money. Just give a person a reason to give it to
I'm
you.
loving that
He'll give it to
language.
you.
Maybe there's something about property investments that we don't get that you're about to clarify to us. So, what is it? What is it? Are we seeing more Black people? Are we seeing more Stokvels investing into property? Is there some parts of the education that we've missed that we say, okay, because most people would say, no, investing in property is a loss because it takes maybe, a few years for you to actually get your returns because all the money that comes out of it has to be invested back. Maybe you can bust a few myths about property investments.
Well, people are not really educated in property investments, and even the different ways that you can invest in property. People just think buy a house or buy a flat, I put a tenant, and then sometimes there's a bit of a shortfall. I don't mind, I can top it up. That's what they think. There are so many ways that you can invest in property, and there are so many ways that you can do it right. The whole thing of saying, hey, la la la, paying a bond over 20 years, making the banks rich. The bank is there as a partner. They're there to help you. So you use
Yes.
them to achieve your own objective. You structure it correctly, and you understand that the bank is essentially giving you an asset, for example, worth R1 million, and sometimes you don't even put any of your money down. Where are you gonna get R1 million to go buy shares or to start a business?
That's true. That's
You
true.
know what I'm saying?
That's
It's
true.
very difficult. Whereas as to buy property, even if you've never bought property before, you just go to the bank and you say, I found a property, give me the money. The bank will give you the money. But if like as entrepreneurs, if you want to start a business and you say to the bank, I've got a business idea, give me the money, they're not going to give it to you. Oh, I want to go and buy shares, give me the money.
The
They're not going to give it to
conversation.
you.
The
The fact
conversation.
that the banks are willing to borrow you the money, it means that they see value in that asset. And you don't have to do much
Yes.
other than just go and find it and say, I like it, and sign the documents and take the
Yes.
OTP to the bank, and that's it. You know?
I love it.
So I think it's about that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right. There's a comment here from Urinele. Now, this is absolutely amazing. I see on the website
Mm-hmm.
you have different packages. So I'm thinking she's talking about Saki Sizwe. If
Mm-hmm.
one opts for monthly contributions, is there a time frame that one is tied for? And also, if I opt for a once-off as well, is the minimum period that one should invest for? Hmm. Did you get that?
If one put in the time frame, okay, so the minimum investment period is 12 months. And then
Okay.
if you're doing a once off, it's 12 months. Yeah, I think she's asking about once off. Yeah, so about 12 months. Yeah, 12 months.
Yeah, she's asking if
So
there's a
anyway,
once-off option. And also,
there is a once off option and there's a monthly option.
okay.
Yeah. But we are making some changes, so we have been operating as a Stokvel for the last, since we launched. But now we actually launching the Sakisiza Property Trust, and we're actually launching it for the first time, tomorrow to the public. So far, only members have been able to take part in that opportunity, so where the properties are going to sit in the Sakisiza Property Trust. So that's just the next level of journey. Oh, look at that. Someone is saying, please help us start that money franchise stuff. Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
That's
Yes,
our
guys.
executive director, Mr. Singapore. I couldn't wait to get to this one because I'm
Guys,
just
I
like, yeah.
find
I
yeah, I
I
think
I
as
I
a
wish I
software
was there when that
community, we are
conversation
just
started because we've been doing amazing things with that money franchise
yeah,
Stokvel. So
guys are
thank
doing
you so
amazing
much.
things.
And also Nathi, angithi
Guys, I
sizodlulisela
think
kwabanye. We're also gonna teach others.
no, 100%, guys, 100%. And I think just as a Stockholm community, we're all understanding, Guti, this is the way to go and this is the way to grow. I mean, it grows, yeah, that money franchise Stockholm just goes to show what's possible. And the first time I actually heard Uba Tabile talk about this Stockholm thing while we were at Tembisa at a Stockholm in Bizo. And I was so blown away, what she thought about it. And then she was implementing it. I was like, yes, girl, because I was just like, it makes so much sense because when you're
Yep.
getting a franchise, they need like a certain amount of unencumbered cash and whatever. But now, if you're getting away from that unencumbered cash thing, or you can raise it as a stock sale, or you can raise the entire money, like guys, really, we've been sleeping on stock sales for too
It's
long,
possible. It's possible.
So
Yes, because I mean, we are no longer just buying mayonnaise and uniforms with Stokvels, guys. Like we are doing
no.
serious business.
And those mayonnaise, we own those shops that are selling those mayonnaise.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, because think
Yeah,
ownership.
yes. Ownership.
There is a comment here from Uhopu. Okay, so person goes, Slindile, I would like to be mentored and get more exposure on property. I'm part of a startup property investment company, and we started from investment club with 9 members. Then now we have a private company with all the 9 members as board of directors and 3 members being executive team, CEO, CFO, and lead director. I would really love to get direction from professionals like you. Thank you. Yes, Lindile, please give us all the data and let these people know where they can get direct access to you. If you are charging for any of the services, if you are consulting, mentoring is something else. But if you offer consultation services, please let everybody know where they can link up with you.
Yes, I do. So I do offer coaching for individuals as well as Stokvels. So they can go to the website www.meetcilindile.com. So they can check out my website. I've also got a Facebook group for women. Sorry, guys, because I'm a woman and I really want to change the demographics of the property space. So I've got a Facebook group called Mzansi Property Queens. I share a lot of information there as well, so do join. So that's the best places to get hold of me. On my Facebook page, Silindile Lisiane as well. You can like there, and then you can keep in touch.
All right, this is Mzansi Property Queens, guys. I'm just typing this out for you so that you can go look for the group. And I can promise you, I went through Slindila's profile and I found almost all information on her page. So I do know that you'll be helped out a lot. But the Mzansi Property Queens is only for queens.
Sorry.
Is it for queens only?
Yes, it's for the ladies.
Yeah, no, we must also be exclusive. No, must also be exclusive. Me, I'm not fighting it.
No, 100%. And I'm in the South African Property Investors Network. I'm like one of the members there. And we attend events, and there's so little women that are there, and all of those things. And I'm like, no, but this can't be right. And also being last year I entered the South African Property Investor of the Year Awards, and I was one of the few females who was a finalist there, so and actually won an award. But I'm just saying, Kuti, and every time I'm invited to such things, and it's always the men around. I'm the only woman in the room. I'm like, no, that can't be right. So that is why, for me, it's like, what is it that women are? The thing is, women are buying property, but they're buying for residential purposes. Women are actually the single women are the single group of property buyers in South Africa, followed by married couples, which goes to show that women are buying property, but they're buying for residential
involved in the buying process, the greatest scheme of things.
They're not investing. It ends with their primary residence, So I'm like, let's take it to the next level, and not just primary residence.
I can see that we are causing commotion here. So will you only be allowed to join the group if you are female? So guys, let me just say the Facebook group, yes, it's for females because Linda would like to focus on grooming females, but her other projects, they do not close you out if you are a male. The property Stokvel that she's part of.
Yes. And also you can join my mailing list, so where I share a lot of opportunities, events, and property stuff. That one is not limited to women. So if you want to join my mailing list, it's bit.ly. What's the other one? That one. I always mix them up.
Okay.
Option with a capital letter S. Let me put it in the chat for you, Mbali.
Yes, I've got it here somewhere. I'm just going to look for it. Dear male entrepreneurs listening, please don't get mad at us. Can we just have like one thing? Nati. Women not only need a safe space to breathe and to exist, but I think more than anything, if you truly want to liberate women, give them opportunities. And the reason why I advocate for female groups creating spaces for females to do entrepreneurship is because a female would understand that I can rock up with a baby right now and get the work done still. But in a male-dominated environment, you cannot do that, right? And it should be okay. It should be accepted. It should be allowed. But because, we'd rather just avoid... They forget. They forget. Now let's break down the numbers on returns for
Okay.
members who are investing in your stock file. So you said members can invest, they can have monthly investments. They can choose that option, or they can choose the once-off option. But then how do they get their returns? I think I read somewhere that everybody who's invested does not get anything less than 15%. I don't know if this is per annum or
Correct. Per
okay.
annum, correct. Per annum.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So we pay out on a monthly basis. So every single month we're always investing in a different property. So every single month we're always making payouts. But I'm gonna
Hmm.
change things slightly now as we move towards being a trust, because now the admin, getting the tax compliance and paying all of that out, it's gonna be, because there's now like a legislative framework around how beneficiaries are managed and all of that. So excuse me, we're going to be changing the model slightly. So we're just going to be sort of phasing out this current model that we've got now and focusing more on moving the members to become beneficiaries of the trust. And then there we're going to start paying out only quarterly and no longer monthly, because then the admin is too much
Okay.
from a
Okay.
monthly payout perspective. Yeah.
But this does not
But
affect the
for now
percentage.
they
People will
can,
still
but
get
for now
the
they
full
can
amounts.
filter. Things are going to change a little bit. It's a little bit more complicated for me to explain it now, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, based on how we currently work now, you can still join as it works, but we are moving towards a different model, and we are going to allow our existing members to with the current model if they so choose. Then, but new members are going to move to the trust once that's set up.
Yeah. All right.
You
Mike,
can
we
still
see you
join, but at
there.
some point you're going to cut this off.
All right. Mike is saying there that he's going to open his own group called Property Kings.
Yes, and I'm like,
We're not going to close you out, Mike. Right now on screen, we have Slindile's mailing list. If you'd like to join the mailing list, please just click the link and register there. It's a short registration process, right? And then they can join your mailing list and find out what new projects are out there for everybody and get updated. Also, you can follow Slindile on Facebook as well. On the post that we shared yesterday, I tagged her there. So just click on her name and it will lead you straight to her profile.
but
All
before
right.
you go
And
to
then,
my public one, right? And not so much my private one, because one is almost full anyway. So rather go to my Facebook page. It's just Silindile Lisiane. The private one is Silindile Makumalo Lisiane. So rather join the public one, which is Silindile Lisiane, because there I can accommodate a lot of people.
all right, you can just paste the link here for me, Slindila, again, if that's okay.
I'll do.
All right. And then, with stock files, there's a whole lot of problems with them. And the one major thing that make stock files fail is the accountability process, or lack of, rather. Um, you know, if you've got 10 people who agreed initially that, okay, yeah, fine. So Fagama 3,000, Tina, every end of the month. And I'm just talking in general, like in stock files. But there's nothing that's legally binding to hold the other members accountable for their 3,000 contribution come month end when they say they don't have
Mm,
it. So how have you guys been working with these challenges as your stock file?
yeah.
Because as I understand, you're still a stock file, right? You have not transitioned to
I
a
think it's,
cooperative. You've not.
yeah. I think if you want to be stressed, you must force people to do things they don't want to do. Um, so umuntu makathi anginayo uzomenzani. You understand? What do you do? So, because life happens with your best of intentions in the world, you commit to something and life happens. Nobody foresaw COVID was going to happen. Now I must be chasing people and saying pay money that they don't have when they'd rather be surviving. So how we work is your returns are based on what you've paid. If you pay once and you stop there, you will end the returns on what you have paid. And that's it. You will see other children prospering when now you stay behind, because that is what you have chosen to do. You know what I'm saying? Why force them?
Ish, but it's hard. And it's those kind
It
of people
depends. It depends
who
on
hold us back
it
because some
depends
of
on
these
your
things,
objectives.
are
Mm.
unforeseen.
No, that's what I'm saying. That they're unforeseen, and now when a person can't pay, what do you do?
What
So
do you
so you
do?
just manage it, and you say, okay, fine. Let's say, for example, we agreed we're gonna pay 1,000 rand a month or whatever
Yeah.
each of us, and the person stops at month 6. let's say then you then say, okay, guys, a share is worth 1,000 rand. So it means if you stop paid for 6 months, you only get 6 shares. The ones that paid for
Yes.
12 months get
Yes.
12 shares.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
that
Yes.
simple. And then you can say, okay, guys, for those who are a little bit more moneyed, they can buy the optional shares of the other one who couldn't pay the
Yes.
other
On
six
their
months. So
behalf.
that if
That
your
works.
target is to raise,
That works.
you know
That's
what
an
I'm saying?
option.
So then
Yeah.
they know who's got the money, you then get a bigger equity in that particular business. But then you don't
Mhm.
now. 'Cause now that also creates bad blood and nikarane as a group because now the person really can't pay. You
Yes.
get what I'm saying? Why must
Yeah.
you force them?
Mm. Ish. Guys, ngicela sisebenzeni kanzima sizo-investa kuma-stokvels wethu.
Yeah.
Um, Now, using stokvels to invest in actual assets is such a revolution because this is the billion rand, sorry. Dollars is
Right.
something else. This is the 50 billion rand industry. Now, if we're directing that
Yeah.
money into tangible things that we can recreate,
Yo,
into
listen.
assets that we can trade and make profit out of, it's really a great thing. And I just want to see, Slindila, for yourself, do you see a lot of people owning businesses around you growing up? Going into group economics, using community capital, or using their collective courage to buy into businesses as we are doing today with Stokvels?
To be quite honest with you, Mbali, I didn't see it when I was growing up. Tina, the kind of stuff that our parents and aunties and grannies were involved in, Ilawama Ultra, Nama Big Beans, and,
Yes.
and sugar and rice.
Mm,
you know, those are the
yeah,
kind of
survival.
society. But where some of them, like some of these girls ones, where at least they got a little bit more sophisticated would be, let's say in Kande they buy the tent and the chairs and some of the catering equipment so that if a funeral needs to happen, they don't have to go and hire out. So those then essentially become the assets of the stock sale. You know what I'm saying? So that I saw. But in terms of them saying, you know what, we actually want to create a business, have it underwritten by some funeral parlor and call it, whatever group name, but you know that you are underwritten by someone else, and then build that as a company and grow that. That I haven't seen. I've seen it in other
Yes.
communities, especially in the Afrikaner community. They still do it, but Tina, it's like I think we haven't yet gotten there. But I think from what I've seen, especially around property stock sales, a lot of us are becoming woke now. We're like, okay, guys, like if I'm gonna do this on my own, it's gonna take me forever. But if I can get 10 other
Yes.
people, especially in the property stuff,
Yes.
right? Sometimes you don't even need to put a deposit. You just need to have transfer cost and bond registration or just a 10% deposit or whatever. You guys just need to raise the 10% only and you get your first asset. And then you put another 10%, you get the second asset. You don't even have to wait
Mm,
until the entire cash is available. Then the additional contributions now go towards paying off that asset and you've got the rental coming in as well. Now you're killing it off
yes.
in like 5 years instead of taking it over 20 years. But now you've got,
Makes
after
sense.
5 years, instead of waiting to have the cash available to buy one, you've been steamrolling this thing and now you've got 5 properties after 5 years instead of just one. So I'm seeing a lot of stockholders are getting very creative in terms of the kind of investments they're getting in. They're
Yeah.
getting into storage spaces, they're getting into parking spaces. They're doing a lot of really creative stuff around investments, and really the future is bright. And I mean, what you guys
And
are doing as well with that money and some of the farming stock sales as well, that people are really starting
yes.
to see, "Buti, how can we use community capital to start building our businesses?" Because Nakona, to get funding for your business is hard, guys. It's really, really hard.
Yes.
But I mean,
And one of our
get
biggest problems would be compliance. Our businesses, they don't comply.
100%. Yeah, yeah. Whereas if you can start a stock sale with other like-minded people or even just investors, people on your timeline and say, hey guys, I need to raise
Yes.
100,000 rand to buy initial stock. People are gonna give you 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, yeah, 100,000. You know what I'm saying? So and you
Yeah.
give people other shares in your business or you give them you take that on as a loan and you pay it off. So you need to be
True.
creative and not say, oh no, there's no funding, we'll have your Kale Konene, and that's the end of the story. You know, you know,
No, I understand, because then also at the end of the day, why are we on these platforms if not to utilize them to their best capabilities? They must pay us at the end of the day, guys. Tina, we raised our money off of social media, during lockdown, and it's amazing what you guys are doing online, and we are passing the very same values back to you. Go do it with other people as well. Don't just sit with us only, because if you really want to make serious money, you must be able to replicate the process over and over again. That's how you're going to make serious money. Otherwise, if you're the Malay school fees again, it's fine. You can invest in one stock fail.
And the thing is, guys, right, social media, what people don't get is that other people are making money off of you being on social media. Let that person be you who's making the money
Correct.
from being on social media.
Correct. I love that. I love that, because that's just the honest truth of it all. um and then in juggling the hours, I mean, I think from what I've gotten from you is that members are getting passive income. Is the setup
Yeah.
truly just passive income, or are members involved in some of the heavy lifting that happens in the Stokvel? Because I know property is a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm coming to invest in Psychic, how much work am I expected to put in as a member?
What the heavy lifting you have to do now is to click the pay button. It's very strenuous. It's a stranger.
And,
And
and
your
please let them know where you're
finger.
clicking that button. Please let them know which
You know,
platform.
like the Absa one. If you've got a phone like this one, all you do, you just log in, you put your fingerprint, it selects you in, and you just go and you select Stokvel as a beneficiary, and you say pay,
Yes.
and you go and you sleep.
Yes.
And
Can you imagine?
then
So,
the other hard work that you have to do is to just left this very heavy phone around the 20th of every month. And it's like, oh,
oh
my
my
money is in my
gosh, what
bank
a
account.
job.
I put it down again. Oh my gosh, my arm hurts. That's it.
What a job. So, guys, why wouldn't
What
you,
a
as in,
job.
Obalisa wrote a book, which released last year, our systems and education officer for that money franchise Stokvel, which says Stokvels, how they can make your money work for you. Truly, you guys are showing us how people can make their money work for them. I'm always one of those people who think that I'm hearing an echo on your side, Cindy. I'm hearing an echo on your side. I don't know.
Oh, what happened? Did I mute myself? Oh, you muted me.
Okay,
Okay.
yes,
I was saying
that's
that
it.
I was saying, Bali, that when you are still working for your money, like you need to be, for example, at a job or working, right? You're always going to have a cap on how much money you can make. Even if you're earning R1 million an hour, you're still gonna have a 24 million rand cap to pay. But if it's your money that's going to work for you, literally there is no limit to how much money you can
Different
make
conversation.
because the
That's
money
correct.
it's working 24 hours. It doesn't
Yeah.
rest. It doesn't fit. You know what I'm saying? It's just out there working for
Mm.
you. So that is why the really well off people, they don't sit there slogging away hard. And I think hence the conversation
Yes,
we had at the
they've got
beginning around
assets that
growth
work for them.
automation, delegating, other skills that you can give the work for you. And when now you're just coining it, that is why you're investing in other things. Because even if property, you don't have to be the one, even if it's yours, right? When you get a managing agent or someone
Yeah.
who's going to manage it for you. And especially if your portfolio is really big, if you've got one or two, okay, you can manage it. But I mean, if you've got like 10, 20, 30 properties, why would you want to be chasing tenants and fixing death visas? You know what I'm saying? So, and
Yes.
when you invest in
Yes.
the systems, then it's purely passive income. Your
Mm.
property value grows
Systems
over
over
time while
system.
you're snoozing
Yes.
and your property value is growing, your rental income is increasing. So so that's the real foundations of building real lasting wealth where you don't have to do the work. Your money is the one that does the work for you.
Mm. And I won't lie, I'm one of those people who are like, what? You cannot work this hard for money. because we've been working ever since we were 21, but we're not rich yet. And the secret was that rich people do not have jobs. I learned this earlier this year, and I thought when I did a review on one of my small businesses, and I was just like, because we're all hustlers, guys. And I was like, oh, I couldn't wait to be an entrepreneur because I thought I was going to be making serious money. And then next thing, I've got my own things. I'm doing a couple of things on the side. And next thing I'm like, no, I'm tired. Is this what rich people do? Turns out rich people don't even have jobs. They make their money work for them. So they invest in assets. They invest in Stokvels that can bring them opportunities like this. So, there's the employer, there's the employee, and then you know who the top dog is? The top dog is the investor. So as we get a little bit of education, guys, around recovering our businesses, let's really look into investments. And how we are doing it is as a group, as a collective, cooperative, communities, community capital, group economics. Hey, listen, if you've got a tribe with you who believes in your idea, who believes in your dream, you can mobilize people and then, let's go build. Okay, I seem to have lost Uslindile. I've got one more question for her. In fact, two. I've got two more questions for her. I'm not sure if you're going to have her back. But yeah, hey, if you guys still have some questions, please just pop them in there. But we're almost done. I've got two more questions for Stindile that I wanted to ask her. Hopefully she's going to come back. Hopefully she's going to come back. Tell me, can you please check for me? Hopefully she's going to come back. Guys, the most important thing is that we learn from the Stokvels. So we've been gathering a group of Stokvels, a group of cooperatives to come share, some insights, some bars with us. So how are they doing it? People cannot just raise 2 million in front of us on Facebook and we are just chilling there, laughing at memes, sharing memes. We must get into the habit of asking, guys, this money that you're saying you're moving, where are you moving it to? How are you doing this? How are you moving this money? Then, you gotta be curious first, because then if you're not, you'll get left behind. Otherwise, guys, I think I'm going to end it here for today. I'm so sorry that you couldn't get to Slindila back. I don't know what happened. She's not texting me on the side. I was hoping maybe she can reconnect. But otherwise, it's been such a great session. Thank you so much for joining us. We're doing this every Friday at 11 o'clock. Now, if you know of Stokvels who are doing amazing things, or cooperatives that are doing amazing things, please just feel free to let us know, and then we'll get in touch with them, because secrets. We want to know what's out there. And yeah. Oh, okay. Slindila got disconnected. All right. I'm going to close it here. Thank you for joining us, guys. Remember to always think ownership. Always. Have a great Friday. Have a lovely Friday. Oh, and Mike, you are asking, how do I join the Stokvel? I'm thinking you're talking about that money franchise Stokvel. Please go to our website, that.africa. And then you'll be able to join. You'll see La Payana, that money franchise Stokvel. You just click there. We've got just a few spots left for group 2. I think if less than 10, So if you'd like to join, please just make sure that you join, because our cutoff date is November. So if you have not joined by November, by end of November, good luck. But it's 15,500 to join. The 500 is non-refundable. We've raised over 2 million in just 20 weeks. So we've done amazing things. Yes, Lindela is back. Hi, Lindela, welcome back. I've got just 2 more questions for you. Thank you so much for coming back. Yes. So Mike, yes. So go to our website, that.africa. I know, I was just answering a question that was on screen. All time greatest education. I was looking forward to Fridays. All right. I was just saying, I wanted to say goodbye, but I hung around for a bit because I had 2 more questions for you. Would like to give people a very nice exit, because we entered very well. So let's dive into on sourcing the properties. You said you are in KZN, you are in Gauteng, and you are in the Western Cape. On sourcing the properties, how are you penetrating the market? And if that has been your biggest stress?
No, it hasn't because, like I said, we don't do heavy lifting, right? So we work with a partner who does the sourcing of the
Okay.
properties. That's why it's purely passive income, guys. Don't worry, you're not gonna be driving up and down the streets looking at properties. That's totally
Mm.
managed. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah.
Mhm. And the last question. I mean, the economic climate makes industrial property the most attractive option. It is seen as a good choice because it promises steady growth over time. Is
Mm,
that the end game
mm.
for Saki as well?
By industrial, you mean like factories and distribution centers and
Yes.
logistics and all of that.
Yes. And
Anything. I mean, it depends on where the. Mhm.
let me tell you why I'm asking this question. So earlier on during lockdown, we had, a couple of entrepreneurs who were like, no, business has stopped because we don't manufacture our own fabric. We don't manufacture our own this.
Yeah.
They're dependent on other countries. They're dependent on China. And I was
Mm,
just like,
mm,
that is so
mm,
crazy that even during this time, we still have that problem of, okay, Tina, we don't have enough factories to actually produce our raw materials here in the country.
mm, mm. Yeah, Bali, that's a legacy issue here. I think we've been too dependent on China and other industrial
Yeah.
areas. We don't have an industrial economy. We don't have a value proposition as South Africa to say what distinguishes. We had gold and all those minerals back in the day, but those are fast diminishing. What now do we bring to the table in the global economy? Maybe from an agriculture perspective, yes, we do. But I mean, we are already importing chicken from Brazil and US and wherever else. So, what is
Right.
really is South Africa's unique value proposition?
Yes,
What
yes.
exactly is our what are we when you think Africa, what are you thinking in terms of our export products to the world? Okay, maybe our wine, but I mean, so when we're going to create these factories, we don't have the skills for it, we don't have the funds for the
Mm.
machinery, we don't have the funding. It's like I'm saying, it's a legacy thing,
So
and
we
that's why
really
you
have
were
to
saying
start at the
about
ground level.
unemployment. It's an uphill battle. We need to go back to basics and regroup and say, guys, what are we actually going to do? And then you
Yeah,
hear the government making saying they're going to create jobs. From where? From what?
yeah,
It's the entrepreneurs that are going to create the jobs. So and thing is, we don't have the facilities. So in terms of industrial properties, it would really depend on where the demand goes. But I mean, definitely, if there is a demand for logistics, I think that's where we're going now. People now getting used to online shopping. If there's opportunity there, it's definitely something that we could look at. And also in the commercial space, maybe around shopping centers and all of that. Not so much on shopping on the malls because those are now becoming like white elephants. But I mean, the
yeah.
small neighborhood shopping centers, there's opportunity there because everybody needs bread and milk on their way home. So maybe those
True.
kinds of things, but it really does depend on where the opportunities lie, and we
Yeah,
are we are open to that. Even though at the moment we are focusing primarily in the residential space,
yeah,
but I mean, if the
yeah.
opportunities are there, it's definitely something we'd look at.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's see if there's any more comments here. Atunkanyi Malunga, maybe Slindile can suggest a spot for the first franchise store. Nkanyi Malunga, let me just let you know that Co-op One has secured a spot. So maybe Slindile can help with securing a spot for Co-op Two. The property
Where
queen
is it?
actually
Have
just
you
come to
revealed
you.
it yet?
Huh?
Have you guys revealed where the spot is going to be to everyone yet? Or is it still like part of the big reveal?
No, we cannot reveal yet. Also, me, I cannot speak because the board has not given me permission yet. But I do know that Co-op One is just wrapping up a few
Okay,
things,
so
but it seems like it's going in the right direction. So excited
well
about
done,
that.
guys.
Thank you,
Well
thank you.
done.
No,
So
and well done to
exciting.
the members for showing their commitment. We wouldn't be doing it without them.
No,
Cindy,
absolutely.
thank you
Absolutely.
so much for being here and sharing some insights with us. Hopefully, we can catch up with you again in the next couple of months to find out just how far you guys have gone with your stock. Do you have any spots open for new members? Are you inviting any new members to come through and join you guys? And also, what's next?
Okay, yes, definitely. We are open. We're still open for members, and I'm going to be developing like an online course on how to set up and run your own property Stokvel, because at the moment I'm having lots of groups coming to me and asking for information. Like I said, I'm all about doing the work once and then benefiting forever. So I'm busy putting together the course that is actually going to allow people to create and run their own property Stokvels, because I'm saying I'm covering Stokvel stuff, I'm creating how to set it up, I'm creating the admin, or the administration of it, I'm covering structures, I'm covering how to find your property investment, how to manage them, how to make sure that your
Yeah.
members are happy, basically everything around the property investment space. So those are going to be coming out soon. So watch out for that. And then otherwise, you can feel free to join the Stokvel and to join the female group for property investors. That is me, Zanzi Property Queen. Or alternatively, just join my mailing list, because I share a lot of investment opportunities and education
Yes.
opportunities as well. Because like I mentioned, it's so important that you spend that little bit of time and effort upfront, then you know that you're going to monetize that forever. So instead of you
Yes.
just jumping
Yes.
in and
Yes.
then you make mistakes, cost you more, just go back and regroup and then do it properly with the right foundation. And then from then on, the sky's the limit.
Awesome. Awesome. Here's the last one. Slindy, I would like to get my mom involved in the Stokvel. Could we set up a meeting so that maybe we can consult with you on the options available? So I did leave on the comment section, Slindile's contacts, you can where you can join her mailing list as well. And I shared her Facebook profile. So if you can just click any of those, you can be in touch with her. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for catching up with us. Thank you for sharing some insights with the family and young entrepreneurs watching. Hopefully, you guys are learning. We really love to hear from you. So if you've got suggestions, please feel free to hit us up. Otherwise, we are out. Thank you so much, Cindy. Have a great Friday.
Thank you so much, Bali. Thank you for inviting me back, family.
It's been lovely.
Ciao.